Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and in today's video I want to give you some tips and tricks from the real world Airbus operations. And the point we're going to talk about is the flight control track and the auto brake. Now, in the normal taxi flow you would set the auto brake to max, but don't do this until you have actually completed the flight control track, which you will surely remember from the basic tutorials. You are allowed to delay until you are actually taxiing the aircraft. That does save a little bit of time, therefore a little bit of fuel, even though if you expect some departure delays anyway, then a flight control check with the aircraft stationary is preferable. Now, a couple of rules here, obviously not directly from Airbus, but more like company rules, are that you have to reduce the speeds to below 10 knots so that you aren't moving too fast, because obviously the flight control check, it does distract the pilot a little bit. And even though you are there with two pilots, and when I'm the pilot flying, I'm the one conducting the majority of the check there, I still stay heads up. I don't even look down at the displays while I'm taxiing the aircraft. Instead, I simply do the check, and then the pilot monitoring is going to call out what he sees on the display, and I verify in my head that it's happening correctly. One thing is important though, you must not arm the auto brake before the flight control check is conducted. And the reason for that is rather simple. When you're testing the ailerons, the spoilers are going to deploy, and under certain particular failure conditions, yes, it has happened in the past, that spoiler extension and retraction could trigger the auto brake. Since the cabin crew might still be standing while you are conducting the flight control check during your taxi, remember not all airlines do have safety videos, many are still performing manual demonstrations, an auto brake triggering could cause severe injury to cabin crew, and has actually led to severe injury up to death for cabin crew members in the past. That's why the auto brake may not be armed for the flight control check during taxi. Now, as mentioned, this only could create problems during certain failure conditions, since under normal operation the auto brake is not active until you're passing a speed of 72 knots. So normally nothing should happen, but with certain system malfunctions something could happen. That's why they do introduce that limit. Now, for the flight control check itself, it's actually fairly easy. So with the speed at or below 10 knots, you are simply going to do the standard up, down, left, right, like this. However, the interesting thing is what happens when you are testing the rudder. Remember that the rudder pedals are tied to your nose wheel steering with up to a 7-degree steering angle. However, and now things go apart depending on the add-on that you use, what you do in the real world is, while you're holding your hand on the tiller like that, that's where you grip it, so you have the palm of your hand over the disconnect button. What you do in the real world is you simply use the palm of your hand to press the disconnect button, and then you can still move the tiller with your hand on it. And all of that while at the same time you are testing the rudder, and therefore the moving the rudder pedals. That steering disconnect button completely disconnects the nose wheel steering from your rudder pedals, so that nothing happens when you do this test. Now, depending on the add-on that you use, several different possibilities exist for how it may react. Some are configurable, others are not, so I'm not going to go into details of that. I simply want to share what's important there in the real world. Well guys, and once the flight control is complete, or once the flight control check is complete, you can then go ahead and arm the auto brake into max while doing the rest of the taxi flow. And yeah, that's everything I got to offer for this particular video today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe, and then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.